Hey everybody, it's Matt again, and I'm gonna be working with corn because corn is in season, and I'm going to try to elevate one of my childhood favorites, and that is flan. Something super simple, and I'm gonna show you a technique that is gonna make it perfect and foolproof every single time. Now there's a reason why I'm cutting corn for this flan, and that's because I want it to be just different from a regular flan. And not that there's anything wrong with regular flan. I'm just thinking, if I want it to be a little bit better, a little bit creamier, maybe I'll try adding corn to it. And that is another reason why I'd say it's better at restaurants. It's because we're willing to try something different and not just the regular, and also make it better. Now, why would I add corn to regular old flan? What's the reason for that? Well, for one, it's corn season. And whenever something's in season, I like to take full advantage of its freshness. It just tastes better when it's in season. Now, here's the main reason for adding the corn though. Corn has cornstarch. Wow, that's absolutely genius, Matt. We obviously did not know that corn had cornstarch in it. Look, let me get to the point. The cornstarch in the corn, when blended with my milks, is going to create just a beautiful silky smooth texture. Now, I was thinking that the corn could possibly, take substitution for some of the egg, but no, the egg's different. The egg coagulates, which is what sets the custard. The corn doesn't quite do that. The corn more so thickens rather than sets. So it's gonna make it like a more voluptuous, thick, with two C's, flan. Now, why can't I just go ahead and pour the custard straight into the containers right now? Well, look at this. There's tons of bubbles in this, and I need these bubbles to sort of settle down. And on top of that, I need to set up my containers. You're gonna see how in a moment. But while this is setting off to the side, let me just go ahead and talk about flan real quick. Now, flan is a really big part of my upbringing. So I love straight up regular flan. So I'm not hating on flan. Like, I grew up on it. I had it at almost every dessert when we went out to eat in restaurants. When I'm talking about why it's always better at restaurants, it's more so about how can we make it a little nicer, or how can we add a different component here, like, for example, corn. Now that that is out of the way, let me go ahead and show you my tutorial on how to make corn crunch real quick. Now, this is where the cereal and the milk comes into play. We're taking milk in the dehydrated form. This is milk powder. So we're doing the milk powder with some sugar. Now, why milk powder plus some regular cornflake cereal? Well, for one, cornflake, because I want to keep it in theme. But two, the milk powder, when I add in butter as the lubricant, it's basically going to coat the corn flakes. And when it coats it, it's gonna caramelize when we bake it off. And it's gonna have like a nice, deeper flavor and caramelization. And then of course, I give it a little bit of crunch, just so I can break it up a bit and then create some more texture. Then just add a pinch of salt of that, just for some more depth of flavor. This will then get baked off in the oven at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit until GBD. Real quick, what is GBD? Why do I say it all the time? Golden Brown Delicious. It's just a simple abbreviation that we use in lots of recipes. So quick tip, if you ever see GBD in a recipe, it just means to go by color. Okay, so why does flan have sugar on the bottom? Similar to creme brulee, although a little bit different, you want that slight contrast in flavor. So I take my sugar a touch long, so it's like almost about to burn, because I love that contrast of bitterness with the sweetness of the flan. Now, you might think it's gonna be like a crunchy, crispy situation. But when it cooks, it just becomes this like really smooth sauce, like caramel sauce that just drapes over the flan when you put it on the plate. That's the reason why we do the sugar on the bottom of the flan. And I'm also going to be putting it into some jars that I spray liberally with some nonstick just so the flan comes out extra clean. And I'll tell you the reason for the jars right now. Now, the reason for jars is because I'm going to do a technique that not many people do. I actually just did a YouTube short on this, and I had my other chef friends tell me I've never seen this done with flan before. So I guess that just goes to show that this technique's not widely known, but it is a very foolproof technique for getting like the smoothest flan ever. I'm telling you, like, this is now like my favorite way to do flan. Why are you putting in jars? Doesn't it complicate it? Can't you just put it uncovered in the oven? Well, actually, no. Whenever you make flan, you gotta put it in the oven covered, and you gotta put it in a water bath, and you gotta babysit it. You gotta make sure that those eggs don't curdle. All I do is I toss it in, set it, and forget it. I'm gonna show you right now. This right here is what's called a Joule sous vide. And this was invented by my buddy Grant at Chef Steps here in Seattle. Now, the beauty about the Joule sous vide is I set this water bath to 178 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, here's the thing about flan. Flan sets at about 176 degrees Fahrenheit. That's when the custard sets up. And since I wanna not babysit it and I wanna get the perfect texture, this is actually the best way to cook the flan. I actually made this flan about 4 times this week because I'm creating content on it. And every time it's come out silky freaking smooth. You set it to that temperature because that's when the custard sets. I come back to it in about an hour and it's just good to go. This is why it's my favorite way to do flan. And also stick around for the end of the video because I'm gonna be doing a giveaway on one of these guys right here. Aha, you see what I mean? GBD, beautiful crispy dust. By the way, I don't know if this originated there, but definitely they made it popular. Momofuku Milk Bar. This was very popular on top of their cereal milk ice cream, and it's delicious on everything. Now, here's the part that you really cannot fake with flan. There is not one air bubble in sight. I've already tried it and it's just, look at that, so creamy. The corn in that is top notch too. Now for the Joule sous vide giveaway. I'm gonna put the link to the Discord down below. Join the Discord. The moment this video drops, I'm gonna drop the video on the Discord with directions on how to win the Joule sous vide. Good luck, and let me know what you wanna see next on Why It's Always Better at Restaurants.